You know that feeling, right? Yeah, the little argument in your head.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
maybe before a big meeting, one part is like, you got this, and another's whispering, oh boy, disaster ahead.
Totally. Or wanting to just chill out, but another part is nagging you to be productive.
Exactly. We all have these different voices inside. And, you know, traditionally, psychology might see that as maybe a problem, something to
Right,
fix.
like it's a sign something's wrong.
But what if we didn't? What if we thought of them more like, I don't know, an inner family?
That's the shift.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something really transformative in therapy. Internal family systems, IFS therapy.
Yes, IFS. It's a pretty groundbreaking model, really reframes how we see the mind.
How so?
Well, instead of seeing the mind as just one single thing, it views it as a system, a natural system of different subpersonalities, or parts, as they're called in
I
IFS.
think so.
And the crucial thing here, it's not pathologizing. It's not like multiple personality disorder. IFS sees this inner multiplicity as completely normal, healthy even.
Developed by Dr. Richard Schwartz, wasn't it, back in the 80s?
That's the one. And his core idea is that underneath all these parts, we each have this essential core self.
Self with a capital S.
Exactly, capital S. And this self is inherently wise, compassionate, curious, calm. It's our essence.
Got it. So our mission today is to really explore IFS therapy. We're drawing on info from places like ifsinstitute.com, Psychology Today, HHS.gov, pretty solid sources.
Good stuff.
We want to give you a clear look at the benefits, the methods, how it actually works in practice, and we'll understand why it seems to be gaining so much traction right now.
It really is picking up steam.
Yeah, it's amazing how IFS is really hitting the mainstream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially seeing it used for tough stuff like trauma, anxiety, relationship issues.
Absolutely. And it's happening alongside this huge growth in the whole U.S. behavioral health market. It shows there's a real need.
So tell us about that growth. Any numbers?
Oh, yeah. The U.S. behavioral health market is valued at something like $92.2 billion this year, 2024.
Wow.
And it's projected to jump to over $151 billion by 2034. That's like a 5.1% growth rate every year.
Huge.
And within that, IFS is really taking off. Demand specifically for IFS therapy, up 50% year over year, especially within family therapy.
50%. That's significant.
It is, and we're seeing the workforce grow too. There are over 1,000 certified IFS practitioners in the U.S. now.
So the infrastructure is building up to meet that demand.
Exactly, and IFS therapy appointments themselves saw a 50% jump just between 2023 and the projection for 2025.
That kind of growth really speaks volumes, doesn't it? It circles back to that core idea you mentioned.
Right.
Helping people unburden those inner parts to find that core self and heal emotionally. It feels like a much more, I don't know, integrated way of looking at things compared to some older models.
It's definitely a paradigm shift for many, less about fighting parts, more about understanding them.
So, okay, we know what it is, we know it's popular. But here's where it gets really interesting for people listening.
Yeah.
What are the actual benefits? What does the evidence show IFS can do for you?
Right, the tangible outcomes. And they're pretty profound across the board.
Like what?
Well, take self-awareness and compassion. IFS helps you map out your inner world, identify those parts. This leads to real self-leadership in about 85% of clients. Big number.
85%, that's high. And for trauma?
For trauma resolution, the process of unburdening those wounded parts is incredibly effective. We see symptoms reduce in about 80% of trauma cases.
Unburdening.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that method. What about things like anxiety or depression?
Yeah, emotional regulation. By working with the protective parts that often drive anxiety or depression, IFS helps balance the system. We see about a 70% reduction in those symptoms.
Makes sense. And relationships.
Big impact there, too. Relationship improvement. Because you understand your own parts better, empathy increases. It improves bonds in about 75% of couples and families using IFS.
I can see how that would work. What about addiction?
Addiction recovery sees benefits, too. IFS gets to the underlying parts that might be driving addictive behaviors. It boosts long-term sobriety rates by around 60%.
Addressing the root cause, essentially.
Exactly. And just for general personal growth, it fosters curiosity, calmness, those self-qualities. About 90% of clients report gains in overall life satisfaction.
90%. Wow.
And lastly, there's a holistic healing piece. It really integrates mind and body. We even see reductions in chronic physical issues in about 65% of cases.
That mind-body connection is so key. What strikes me listening to all that is the The non-judgmental core of it.
Absolutely central.
It feels like it meets people where they are, supports different needs, without making you feel like you're fundamentally flawed or broken.
Ah,
More like understanding the system.
precisely. It's about integration, not elimination.
Okay, so if this sounds promising, what does it actually look like?
Mm.
How does IFS therapy work in practice? Let's talk methods and maybe what's new and evolving right now.
Great. So the core of it is often called parts work. It usually starts with parts mapping.
Mapping, like drawing it out.
Sometimes literally, yeah. Or just identifying them internally, learning to recognize the different voices, feelings, impulses within you. This step alone boosts self-awareness for about 85% of people.
And you mentioned apps.
Yeah, interestingly, this year, there are app-assisted ways to start doing this mapping. Kind of a neat development.
Technology meeting therapy
So yeah.
after mapping.
Then comes the really deep work. Unburdening. This is the heart of healing in IFS.
Unburdening.
No, tell me more.
It focuses on those exiled parts, the young, vulnerable parts holding pain, fear, shame from the past. Often things we've pushed away because they felt too overwhelming.
The wounded ones.
Exactly. And in IFS, you, from your self-energy, that calm, compassionate core, connect with that exiled part. You listen to its story, validate its experience, and help it release the extreme beliefs and emotions it's been carrying.
Sounds intense. But powerful.
It really is. It's often very emotional, but incredibly liberating.
Yeah.
And that's where we see the 80% effectiveness in trauma resolution.
And the third part. Self-leadership. This is about consistently accessing that core self. Learning to lead your inner system from that place of wisdom, clarity, compassion. It brings harmony. About 90% harmony reported by clients. This is often the ongoing maintenance phase.
Making the self the leader of the inner family.
You got it.
And looking ahead, what are the cutting-edge trends? What's happening right now at 2025?
Well, tele-IFS is huge. Online therapy has just exploded, making IFS way more accessible.
Right, online sessions up 50%, you said.
Yeah.
And secure, compliant with guidelines.
Absolutely. HHS.gov compliant, high PA secure. It's a legitimate, effective way to do this work.
What else?
There's emerging use of AI for parts tracking. Still early days, but interesting potential there to maybe help with that mapping process.
Yeah. Okay.
And for trauma specifically, there's a much bigger integration of somatic blends, using body-based techniques alongside IFS to deepen the healing, really connecting with how trauma is held in the body.
That makes a lot of sense. Anything else?
Group IFS is really gaining traction, online groups especially. It offers a kind of collective parts experience. People learn and heal together. We see about a 75% gain in community feeling and support.
Group work. And you mentioned EFFT.
Yes, emotionally focused family therapy, which often integrates IFS principles. Those telegroups are up about 50% this year. Families doing parts work together online.
Wow. So thinking about all this, who should consider seeking IFS? When is it a good fit?
Good question. It's really effective for internal conflicts, that harsh inner critic, constant second guessing, effective in about 70% of anxiety cases.
Okay.
Definitely for trauma, with that 80% success rate, relationship issues, 75% improvement.
And not just for problems.
Right. A lot of people seek it proactively for personal growth, just wanting deeper self-understanding, more inner peace. About 21% of adults report benefiting that way.
So it covers a wide range. Now, practically speaking, if someone's listening and thinking, okay, this resonates, how do they find someone? How do you find a licensed IFS specialist?
The best starting point is the official directory on ifsinstitute.com. That's the source.
IFSinstitute.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What should people look for?
Look for practitioners listed as Level 3 certified or higher. That shows they've completed the most comprehensive training track.
Level 3 or higher.
Got it. And what's great is the diversity you'll find there. You'll see therapists integrating somatic work, some specializing in ketamine-assisted psychotherapy with IFS.
Interesting combination.
Yeah, or therapists focusing on supporting BIPOC individuals, offering bilingual services perhaps blended with EMDR, even some using IFS with psychodrama techniques. There's a real range of expertise to match different needs.
So you can really find someone whose approach fits.
Yeah.
Okay, so you find someone. What are those first few sessions like? What should you expect?
Typically, they start with assessments, getting to know you, and that parts mapping we talked about. That might take, say, 45 to 90 minutes in an early session.
Okay. You'll get an introduction to the self, its qualities, its role, and often you'll get some homework, maybe journaling prompts, to reflect on your parts between sessions.
Self-reflection is key.
Absolutely. And it's good to know, especially now, virtual introductions are fully compliant with the IPA security rule as of January 2025. Privacy is protected.
Good to know. And you mentioned the rise of online. How does that compare to in-person now?
Online has really boomed, like we said, up 50%.
Yeah.
Platforms like the IFS Telehealth Collective are making it very accessible. They usually charge around $150 to $250 per session.
So online is a solid option.
Definitely. In-person still exists and is preferred by some, of course, but online offers huge flexibility and reach.
Let's talk money, costs, insurance. What's the picture there?
Yeah, important practical stuff. So individual sessions generally run between $100 and $250. The average is often around $150.
And online.
Online can vary a bit more, maybe $40 on the very low end, up to $275 or so, depending on the platform and therapist.
Okay. What about insurance? Does it cover IFS? It can be tricky. Coverage can be limited sometimes. It depends heavily on your plan and the therapist's credentials. But there's some really good news this year.
Oh,
As of January 2025, Medicare now covers services provided by licensed marriage and family therapists, LMFTs. Many IFS therapists are LMFTs, so that opens up coverage for a lot more people.
that's a big deal for Medicare beneficiaries.
Huge. But always check with your insurance provider directly. Don't assume.
Right. Any other ways to manage cost?
Yes, many therapists offer sliding scale fees based on income. Ask about that. And check if your employer offers an employee assistance program, an EAP. Sometimes they cover a certain number of sessions.
Good tips. Sliding scales, EAPs.
And just on the privacy front again, those 2025 HYPE PA privacy rule updates really do strengthen protections for your health information, your PHI, especially important when dealing with sensitive stuff like trauma history. Your data is more secure.
That's reassuring. With any therapy, especially one that sounds a bit different like IFS, misconceptions pop up.
Oh, for sure. Myths abound.
Let's tackle some of those. What are the common myths about IFS that need debunking?
Okay, number one is probably the myth. IFS means you have multiple personalities, like disorder territory.
Right, we touched on that.
The fact is, IFS sees multiplicity as normal. We all have parts. It's about different aspects of one healthy mind, not separate identities.
Okay, clear distinction. What else?
Myth. IFS is too new. It's experimental.
I could see people thinking that.
Yeah, but the fact is, it's got over 40 years of development. Dr. Schwartz started in the 80s. It's evidence-based now. Lots of research backing it up.
40 years.
Yeah.
That's established.
Yeah.
Any other big myths?
The cost one?
Yeah.
Myth? IFS therapy is just too expensive.
We talk costs, they vary.
Right. And the fact is, while it's an investment, those financial assistance options, sliding scales, EAPs, the new Medicare coverage for LMFTs, make it much more accessible than people might realize. It's worth investigating options.
Good to bust those myths. And hewing the success rates, again, really drives home the potential.
It really does. That 80% success rate for trauma, 85% for boosting self-awareness. These aren't small numbers.
No.
And think about that example. A client unburdening parts and getting a 90% gain in inner harmony, that's life-changing.
Absolutely. Any recent data reinforcing this?
Yeah, studies from just July 2025 are showing really strong results. 90% gains in self-leadership, 85% sustained emotional regulation long-term.
Wow, long-term.
And an average of only 12 sessions needed for significant trauma unburdening in many cases. That's relatively efficient.
12 sessions. That's faster than many might expect for deep trauma work.
It can be very focused. Also, hybrid approaches like blending IFS with CBT, showing 90% efficacy this year. And we're seeing a 30% rise in people using IFS preventively for anxiety, managing it before it gets overwhelming.
Using it proactively. That's powerful, too.
Definitely.
So summing up, internal family systems therapy, especially as we see it evolving in 2025, really feels like a significant source of hope.
It really does.
It seems to empower people to navigate really tough stuff. Trauma, anxiety, relationship patterns with compassion, leading to real growth and that idea of self-leadership.
And that core message is key. Approach your inner world, all those different parts, with curiosity and compassion, understanding their positive intent, even if their impact is challenging sometimes.
And it's becoming more reachable, right? With telehealth booming, those new AI tools may be on the horizon.
Yeah,
Access is improving.
absolutely. More people can potentially benefit than ever before.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Consider what kind of shift could happen in your life, in your inner world, if you started approaching those internal conflicts differently. Not like battles you have to win or lose, but more like conversations waiting to happen, guided by that curiosity and self-compassion we've been talking about.
A powerful reframe.
If you feel ready to explore that, to take a step towards maybe more inner harmony, more resilience, check out those resources. IFSinstitute.com, psychologytoday.com has articles, And HHS Mental Health is always a good source for general info. It might just be the start of a really profound journey.